It's not to say if you don't have all of these things, oh my god, hell's gonna break loose. Aside from the vitamin, I think everything else is just, it's up to you. Hey guys, so I finally decided to do a video of my pregnancy essentials. I've been meaning to film this video while I was pregnant. I'm not pregnant anymore. Obviously, my son is 12 months now, and so I'm not pregnant, but I thought that I would want to film this video, and so I'm filming this video because I can. Nonetheless, here are my 15 pregnancy essentials. So I wrote these things while I was pregnant actually, and it looks like I separated by food, clothes, and other stuff. And so that's exactly how I'm going to format this video, starting with the food or things that you eat. The first thing on the list that you need for sure is a vitamin. A prenatal vitamin is essential to your pregnancy. Talk to your doctor, because if you don't take a prenatal vitamin, and not necessarily a prenatal vitamin, but I think folic acid and folate, I think, but I think folic acid specifically is what you need in the prenatal. But the benefit of taking a prenatal vitamin is that you're just covered in all the essential vitamins that your growing baby needs. So for people, especially when you suffer from hyperemesis, which I did throughout my pregnancy, it is particularly important to make sure that you get your essential nutrients, especially when you're not eating well or eating at all or hardly eating, or if you're mono eating, like only favoring certain types of foods. But yeah, talk to your doctor about which prenatal to use. I use the Materna prenatal. It worked for me. The next thing on my list is water, and with that, obviously, a water bottle. So when I was pregnant, I drank a lot of water. I was always thirsty, and so what I did was I just had a water bottle in every room basically, because I kind of just was always thirsty. And yeah, it's important to make sure that you're hydrated, especially in my case. I think I was mostly pregnant during the summer months. Anyway, I don't remember, but I can't do the calculations, but the summer months certainly felt longer than the winter months. During that time, I just used to always be thirsty. It was so hot, so having water all the time helps. The next thing on the list tied to the water is the sparkling water. Like, I mean, sparkling water for me, what it did that water didn't do was like it just added almost like another dimension in my mouth, especially when I was nauseated. It really helped to sort of distract from that feeling. I could sometimes squeeze some lemon and then feel like I'm eating something or drinking something that, I don't know, it just perked me up a little bit. I didn't do the sparkling water in excess. Like, you can also put like just berries or whatever fruit stuff you want, and then it kind of becomes like a soda. I was never a soda person, but I think I started craving that sort of bubbliness of it all. And yeah, so that's how I did my sparkling water. The next thing on my list is food that you like. Now, you know what? Like, when you're pregnant, you're carrying a life. And so two things. One is you have every right to feed yourself whatever it is that you feel like feeding yourself, if it's not harming your child. Indulge in whatever you need to indulge in. Especially, like in my case, like I said, I was always throwing up. And so if I craved something, I didn't deny myself it. So, but when I say foods you like, I mean fruits and vegetables. So I think I found that like there's certain fruits and vegetables that I just found myself just salivating over when I was pregnant. So for fruit, I, for whatever reason, just started loving watermelon. When I tell you I would sit down with a bowl of watermelon and eat the whole thing by myself, I'm not joking. Watermelon in the summer, it became kind of ridiculous, but I loved watermelon, and it kept me hydrated, so I did, you know, I really enjoyed it. And then for vegetables, I wasn't necessarily picky, but and I didn't necessarily have specific favorites, but Brussels sprouts, like roasted Brussels sprouts, were a thing that I enjoyed. And I also having some salads, that was nice. So I'm moving into the clothes section. Belly bands are meant to like hold your belly. So I didn't think these were necessary, but I realized, especially the last trimester, I remember just always having like this back pain, and then also, yeah, like just feeling every time I lifted my belly, I would feel some type of relief. And so what I used to do, I had two bands, or I had two bands. One was purely just to lift my belly, and then the other one was just to like when I'm going somewhere, I can sort of wear it underneath clothes, and so it's a little bit more discreet than the one I used at home. Next thing on my list is stretchy pants. Now this could be leggings, it could be you know, those joggers or whatever. I was mostly able to wear my clothes throughout my pregnancy, in terms of my blouses and most of my clothes, actually, like my pants, because obviously I had stretchy pants before, and so I kind of kept them. I had the Lole joggers as my sort of like standard joggers that I wore, and then I also had two pairs of leggings. The company that I got my leggings, my biker shorts, and my bras and tank tops from is the same company. I will put the name in the description bar because I don't remember the name, but it's essentially a maternity shop. It might actually be called Maternity. So the leggings were the pregnancy type of leggings, and mine lasted throughout the pregnancy, and I still have them if I wanted to wear them. I mean, obviously I'm not gonna wear them right now because it's kind of ridiculous, but the point being, they were really good quality in the sense of they lasted me throughout the, you know, the time that I was wearing them. And so I got those leggings. I had my joggers from Lole, and then I also had biker shorts because in the summer, guys, it is hot out there in these streets, and so you need to make sure you've got some type of joggers or something that's going to give you relief in terms of not having to wear long pants if you're pregnant in the summer. Tank tops. So I got a number of those tank tops when I was pregnant because, first of all, they were they have the buckle. I'm actually wearing a maternity bra, like a breastfeeding bra, but like they have the buckle where they are a nursing top. So I got a number of those tops because I knew that I needed them postpartum. The benefit of these tank tops is that it's an outfit. You've got your leggings already, throw on a tank top, and then you just kind of throw on like one of those dusters or something, and it's an outfit and you can go outside. That's kind of, that was my look the second half of my pregnancy, the whole time. And they were just, it's just comfortable, you know, like you want something that's going to make you feel comfortable. Underwear. The right underwear matters. I'm telling you, I tested all types of underwear during my pregnancy, and where I landed was Amazon. So I got these underwear from Amazon, which, by the way, I'm still wearing till today. The only thing about them is that they're a little bit on the thicker side, and you might want to, if you are not pregnant during the winter months, then you might want to supplement them with something that's a thinner underwear. I don't particularly have any recommendations for thinner underwear for folks, but because I wore my regular underwear until my belly got out of hand, and then that's when I switched to pregnancy or maternity underwear. And then the last thing on my clothes section is bras. You need to have a supportive bra when you're pregnant. I found that, like, if you don't have supportive bras, you're going to probably be miserable a lot of the time, because especially if your breasts hurt. Like in my case, I was very sensitive on my breasts. I just used the basic sports bras, and I got these from Old Navy, and they honestly lasted me my entire pregnancy. I had also bought nursing bras, but I didn't start wearing them until after I gave birth. The sports bras really worked for me. I found some of the other brands, you know, the more sports like Nikes and whatever, they were a little bit snug and not comfortable, but Old Navy had these very stretchy ones. I'll see if I can find them and then link them in the description below, but they were, yeah, they were just comfortable. So it's like you're wearing a bra, but then it's not like you're like super going to be doing some high intensity workout that you don't want your boobs to jiggle. Now moving into the last section, which is just the other stuff. Dry skin. I don't know whether it's just me or if it's the myth about when you're giving birth to a boy, you get ashy and dusty and dry. That was me. My skin was so dry, and so I had to figure out a situation where I could stay moisturized. My solution was 100% shea butter all the time. So I make my own shea butter with cocoa butter. That's what I used for my body. And then for my face, the Burt's Bees line really worked for me. I found it really moisturizing, and I definitely recommend it for that. And then if you find that you're still a little bit dry, which I was sometimes, for nighttime I used to then layer it or seal it with shea butter, like seal my face with shea butter. Okay, this is the only thing that I found that I've been talking about on this list, but this is a Doppler. See, mine still even has a sticker on it. Why? Because I didn't actually really use it in the end, but it was something that, I mean, I used it like once or twice. I don't have much information on Dopplers, but you know, the time that some of us were pregnant, the world was going through a situation, and so what that meant was we didn't necessarily get the same type of care that maybe everyone gets when it's not a situation in the world. So this was almost reassuring, especially my first trimester when I was a little bit paranoid about losing my baby, given my miscarriages before. And so I just I thought this was kind of just, it was a nice sort of thing to have, especially on days when I'm like, oh my god, I don't feel my baby, which you don't in your first trimester really, but I was still kind of like, yeah, I just needed it for my peace of mind, and it was really great that I had it. Talk to your doctor or someone who's a professional before you know, use these things, but I had one is what I'm saying. Sleeping pillow. Okay, I actually still have this and I still use it. So a sleeping pillow is essential in your pregnancy journey. I don't care what anyone says. Or if you can't get a sleeping pillow, then using regular pillows is really useful during your pregnancy, like when you're sleeping. So for example, you can get a regular pillow and just put it in between your legs when you're sleeping. When you're lying on your left side, you just put it in between your legs, and then you have one on your that you're lying on, and then maybe even one on your back to just support you in. Honestly, it just makes such a difference. Like, you feel like it's a hug when you have those the pregnancy pillows. They're the best, like, because they essentially do what I just explained, just like that. The only thing I'll say about the pregnancy pillows, if you are married or in a relationship with someone who you sleep with, then it can be annoying, I'm sure, because like I'm always there like with good night babe, and then I have my like long separation between us because, you know, a girl needed her pillow. Difference between a wedge pillow and a sleeping pillow is that the wedge pillow, I found that I used it a lot when I was just around the house. So when I was sitting on a sofa, like sofas are not necessarily as comfortable as you may think. I've often actually found it more comfortable to sit on the floor than to sit on the sofa. Maybe it's just our dingy sofa, I don't know. But the wedge pillow was like nice when I'm sitting on any chair or on a desk chair or a sofa, and I just kind of put it where it hurts. Like I just kind of wedge it where it hurts. The next thing on my list, obviously, books. You need to read before your baby gets here. Either read or talk to moms, whatever it is, get information. I used obviously a mixture of everything, and I benefited from conversations, from reading, podcasts, whatever. I did as much consumption of information to prepare me as possible, not to the point where you freak yourself out, but just to be informed about your pregnancy especially, and then about your labor and delivery, about your postpartum, and then generally about a baby, like taking care of a baby. I'll put a list of my books suggestions below, but just off the top of my mind, of course I read, and it's so cliche, but I read What to Expect when you're expecting. Yeah, crib sheet. And then for my pregnancy stuff, I mean, I'm probably forgetting stuff relating to pregnancy itself. But yeah, I'll put any books that I remember regarding pregnancy itself in the description bar below. Apps. So getting yourself situated with pregnancy apps is useful because it allows you to kind of track your progress as you go along and to kind of have this sort of like sort of insight on what's going on with your body and whatnot. I did the bump, Ovia, and what to expect when you're expecting, or what to expect, I guess is the name of the app. The one that's in Bump Center, Ovia and Baby Center were my two apps that I used the most. Ovia because it just gives you the pure, your baby's the size of a pea or whatever. But I found that with Baby Center, I was able to join, what do they call it? Birth groups, or like birth month groups or whatever. So I was in a group with moms who were giving birth in August, which was awesome because as we were going through our process or our pregnancy, we were keeping on posting and exchanging, and I would read people's posts about things, which was fantastic and also scary sometimes. But point is, it was useful. Actually, I'll add one more thing before I close the list off. I would say having your midwife slash doctor, OB sorted as soon as possible is really great. I found that like I didn't get the choice of midwife that I wanted because I waited until the second trimester, I think, before I contacted the midwives. If you're pregnant, as soon as you find out that you're pregnant, I think you basically can start calling around for midwives, because I mean, I think depending on wherever you live, they're not always available, so it's important to get on top of that. But of course, if you're using a hospital, then you want to go in and get that connection as soon as possible so that they can be your primary resource for information. Okay, that's pretty much my 15 things that were essentially essential for my pregnancy. I would love to hear what other people's essentials were. Okay, so I'll end this video now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.